Hey guys, I know I haven't made a video in a really long time. I've been so busy. You should just see my schedule. It is ridiculous. But I do have a spare moment today, and I did just finish a book. It's called Born of Fire. Again, it's by Sherrilyn Kenyon. I read a lot of her books, so you're probably going to get a lot of book reviews on her books. She's a good book. Her favorite... Sorry. So, this one is about Shahara, and Syn. Syn. And I love them. This is probably one of my favorite couples ever because of what they actually go through. So, the book takes place in Born of Night, which is Kenyon's book. And what happens is Shahara takes the contract out on Kenyon and Syn's life. And, well, of course, she's a tracer. That's her job. She goes and she brings people in. She's also a psychic. So she is very lawful and she's very moral in everything she does. So she only takes the contract out on these two because her sister's in the hospital and the hospital is threatening to kick her sister out. Well, her family, Shahara's family, is everything to her. Clearly that's not going to happen. So, what she doesn't know, on the other hand, is that Syn is also her brother and her sister's best friend, by the way. So, that made it quite interesting for the whole storyline. So she breaks into his house. By the way, she's the first person to ever figure out where he lives. Which is really funny because people are stupid. Anyway. So, she's the first person to ever break into his house. Then, once she breaks into his house, Syn keeps her captive! He's just like, maybe she's like her brother, and she'll see reason. She doesn't see reason. She almost kills him. She punches him in the groin or kicks him in the groin. How many times? Yeah, I didn't like that one very much either. So, anyway, so they've got her kidnapped. And then, by the end, she promises that she'll stop hunting him and that everything will be good. And he lets her go, right? Good to go. Everything's good. And she calls the authorities. She's like, I promise not to hunt you down, but I didn't promise I wouldn't call the authorities on you, kind of thing. And trust me. So he goes to prison, where he almost dies, being interrogated, to find a chip that would basically lead to the downfall of the presidency on the planet of Rotadaria. And so he's basically almost murdered. And that didn't go over very well. So she saves him because she's doing her job. Basically, she took a contract out for his life, put him in jail, then took another contract out to get his ass out of jail so she could get the chip and turn his ass back into jail. Okay, in the process of her and him finding the chip, she learns that not all criminals are bad, that some criminals are just fighting to save their lives and not, to actually be a criminal. And that the world isn't black and white and there's tons of shades of gray. I didn't want to say 50 because, well, I didn't want to lead into that book. It doesn't really interest me. Anyway, back to the book I'm talking about. So, she turns him in. But this time, when she turns him in, she turns in the chip, which isn't the real chip, and him at the same time. But this time, instead of leaving him in jail, she takes it to the overseer of justice, which is basically the whole universe is Justice Lady. Happens to be his mother, by the way. basically, it's just, that didn't go over very well. But she ends up freeing him from the prison where he almost died again, and turning him over to his mother, who, by the way, hated his guts. And then, and then they don't speak to each other, and he becomes a raging alcoholic, and she becomes a depressed bitch who doesn't leave her house. And then they end up together, and she ends up pregnant. And I mean, in the whole book, I mean, you meet his ex-wife, who's also a raging bitch, and I want to, like, ugh. You learn about his son. You don't actually meet his son, but you learn about his son, and apparently his son hates him, and Syn still gives him, like, thousands of dollars, even though the kid isn't his. I don't get it, but whatever. Not my place to judge. I still love Syn. His son is amazing. I'm currently reading his son's book. But, I mean, it was a good book. And it was a great, you know, trying to figure out. The whole time, you're sitting there, and they're, like, falling in love. And the whole time, you're sitting there, and you're thinking, is she really going to betray him? Or is she going to, like, pretend? Or is she just going to turn her back on the contract? Is she just going to be like, oh, this and this happened, my bad, I don't have him anymore, but I have the chip? You know, like, what is she going to do? And then you get pissed off, and then you get happy again, and then you get pissed off again, and then you get happy again, and it's kind of one of those books. You get pissed off, then you're happy, then you're pissed off, then you're happy, then you're pissed off, then you're happy again. But it brought out emotion in me, and that's what I love about books, is if it can't bring out an emotion in me, I don't like it. And I love that Sherrilyn Kenyon can bring out emotion in me when I read her books. So, again, Born of Fire, Sherrilyn Kenyon, great book. Loved it. Highly recommend it. Again, I highly recommend any of her books. But just because I did the book review on this one, I highly recommend Born of Fire. She's a good author. It's a good book. If you don't like what I have to say about my books, let me know. You know, again, I'm always open to opinions. I love getting other people's opinions. If you don't like the way I do my reviews, let me know what I can do to be better. Don't just hit the dislike button. Tell me what you don't like. If there's anything I don't like, is that you just like, I don't like it. And you don't tell me why. You know? Just let me know. I'm going to work on getting a program where I can record some of the games I've been playing, because it's really fun for me. I'm starting to really get into my video games again, and I would love to do reviews on games as I'm trying to play them with you guys. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. And I'd love to do movies, but I don't watch comedies, and I don't really want to get into that. So I'm going to try and stick away from the movies, because people tend to do movies a lot. I don't really see a lot of books, and I don't really see a lot of video games. So that's why I was like, oh, I'm into it. I don't see why I want to do that. My glasses, by the way, is what caused this. I didn't get into a fight. My glasses caused this. Can't really do anything about that. So, I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Again, if you liked it, tell me why you liked it. If you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. Let me know if you actually read the book or if you just listened to my review. But this is Brittany. I'm reporting from here from Hawaii, and I love you guys.